So it is 5:15 AM on Sunday the 23rd of June and we're off eventing. So yeah, welcome to our first vlog, and it is also our first ever time going eventing. British eventing, might I add. We are off to Launceston to do the B90. I'm really excited. I know some people should be nervous, but I've seen the course on the app and there's nothing worrying me about the cross country. The dressage, it'll be what it'll be, you know. It is what it is. The only thing worrying me about the dressage is getting there on time. Show jumping again, it is what it is. So yeah. He's just having a quick 10-minute hand graze before we get loaded and go. I packed the lorry on Friday. I packed it again yesterday just to doubly check. So yeah, everything's in. I feel almost too prepared, like I'm forgetting something. I guess we'll find out when I get there. So far, the course has been nice until we get to this mother. To the drop on air. Hello. You're right, kick. That's what we're gonna do. I kind of forgot to film after this point, so we'll go straight into the dressage, which is the B90 dressage test 92. I've got the test sheet here, so I'll read it out. A, enter at working trot, proceed down the centre line without halting. C, track right, which we scored a 6.5. Lost balance in turn. Not much I could say, they're probably right there actually. And then their next move was B, circle right 20 metres. We scored a 7, no comments here. He did feel rather tense but also very off the leg, so it was quite a tricky ride today in comparison to how he's been going at home, which was a little bit frustrating, but thankfully I think it looks ever so slightly better than it felt. The next move is between F and A, transition to walk for 3 to 7 steps, then proceed to working trot. We scored a 6 because he hollowed, was the comment, which is absolutely right, he always does. You know, I've been working on this. KXM, changed the rein in working trot, we scored a 7. No comments there. Looked quite pretty going across the arena in my opinion. Then it was between M and C, working canter left, we scored a 7. The transition was alright, but his head was a bit all over the place and he just didn't really push forward into it. And then C, circle left 20 metres, we scored a 6.5 above the bit, which clearly he was, and just not really pushing forward into the contact at all there. C, H, E, K, working canter left, K, working trot. 6.5 is what we scored, above bit in canter and on hand in trot. Yeah. Can't argue with that. There was moments in the test where he went really nicely on my hand and there was moments where he really didn't. After that it was then B, circle left 20 metres, again scored a 6.5, needs more bend. Absolutely right. The judge clearly knows what they're talking about, a lot more than I do. It was really hard to make the decision whether to have a little fiddle on the bit or whether to put more leg on, because I really wasn't sure what his reaction was going to be. But anyways, moving on, between M and C, transition to walk 3 to 7 steps, then proceed to working trot. 6.5 with the comment of head up. And then HXF, changed the rein in working trot. Again, we scored a 6.5, contact unsteady, which it pretty much was throughout the whole test. Move 11 is between F and A, working canter right, which we scored a 7 for. Transitions were okay, but they weren't the prettiest. At A, circle right 20 metres, again we scored a 7 with no comments from the judge. This one felt a bit better than the first canter, just to start with at least anyway. A, K, E, H, working canter right, H, working trot, and then C, medium walk. We scored a 6 for this move, hollow to walk, then lost clear rhythm. Completely agree. He did come down the transition quite nicely, but he just completely lacked all impulsion on the downward, and I had to really move him forward, and we even had a little joggy step there, which was frustrating. And then it was a free walk on a long rein MXK, which we scored a 6, active steps but no real stretching. It goes one or two ways. You can either have his head touching the floor and no impulsion, or we get some nice active steps and his head just doesn't go anywhere, and clearly that's the way he went today. The final few moves of the test were K medium walk, A down the centre line, mark for medium walk, C to M and K to X. We scored a 6 resisting contact, walk really is his weakest point. And then finally X, halt mobility, and salute, which we scored a 6.5, head up, needing better balance. I can't actually read to you the rest of the comments from the judge because I can't read them, but we overall scored a 34.8, finishing with quite a nice square halt, I'd say. Dressage is done. Felt awful. Looked alright when I've watched the video. What score do you think, Am? Out of 50 or below? 45, thank you. Emily says 45. I did then explain to my niece afterwards that we want the lowest score possible, bless her, and that a sub 30 would be lovely. But yes, we scored a 34.8, so I was relatively pleased with that. Moving swiftly on to the show jumping, I took him in and walked him straight up to those planks because I wasn't sure what he was going to make of it, but he didn't really care about them. It was this end of the arena that we're trotting to now that he was a little bit more spooky at, so I was prepared for this next section. He had warmed up really beautifully in the warm-up ring and I was actually quite excited for the jumping. The course was flowing quite nicely. There was a few moments where I noticed some people slipping. However, I know that Boo can cover the ground and we don't really like to do tight turns. We had studs in, but I didn't really want to go for time. I'd rather have a nice clear. And thankfully, that is what he provided. So a lovely jump over fence 1, got the great striding to it and a nice turn to fence 2, and he just felt lovely underneath. I wasn't really having to push, I wasn't having to fight. I was prepared for the planks just in case, and then obviously got myself ready for fence 4 coming up because I knew he might have had a little look. A couple of growls chucked in, but he popped it beautifully and then carried on around to this double, fence 5. It walked as a 2 stride and I think we chipped in 3. I did kind of expect that to happen because it was quite a long 2 for him. Fence 6 was just off the corner here and thankfully he had a little look at it, but I said no, come on, and he was like alright. He listened to everything I asked of him, bless him. We overshot the line a little bit into fence 7, but thankfully he picked up rather well, and I knew I wanted to come inside here to fence 9 after fence 8 because it had quite a lot of a run up otherwise. And he popped over that for a lovely clear round. I was super pleased with that. Dressage done, show jumping done. We are still on our dressage score. I feel quite good actually. I feel really quite good about how that went. Nice clear round. He listened to me beautifully. We're ready quite ahead of time for cross country in our new colours. So yeah, chill out and get him ready now. So here we go, out onto the cross-country course, which sadly didn't end quite how we'd hoped. Boo kind of came out the start box and almost shut down on me a little bit. He'd warmed up really keen and excited, but it was almost like he went a bit nervous and just backed off that first fence quite a bit. It did take a bit of kicking to get going. Despite one stop at a silly fence before this, we then got into quite a rhythm and really got a flow around the course and he was jumping really nicely. I did come up to the fence you're about to see and add a little bit of vocal encouragement just as he was backing off. I think it was the sand in front of him. Every fence that had a bit of sand he was a bit like, oh, what's that? But sailed over the jump lovely and then back to trot to go through the water. Before it all went a little bit wrong, despite some encouragement from me, I said go, he said no. Here's it from another angle that one of my friends also got. I thought I was going for it enough, but clearly not enough impulsion for him or encouragement from me. I'm not really sure. There's probably something in the back of my mind that just didn't make me drive him forward, and sadly we did part ways. Not quite as buzzing as we were after jumping. Sadly, I came off out cross country because the one fence I thought he'd stop at, he did. Despite me riding it, and I did ride it, I'm sure I rode it, he just went, nah, it was a chicaner, so home to practice, but we're safe, we're sound, we'll try again. We're back home. I've had my little cry, I've had my little rant in the lorry, I've evaluated everything, and do you know what? I'm actually really quite proud. It sounds silly, but we've never done BE before. We go to the same cross-country venue pretty much all the time down here because we haven't got any more in Cornwall. We have the odd trip up to Pontypool. What are you doing? Are you playing? So yeah, we have the odd trip to Pontypool, the odd trip to Garlithner, which is near us, which is great, but he's seen all those fences, he's comfortable there. So cross-country out, cross-country today clearly did take us both back a little bit. I was already having a little bit of a thought about the chicaner. Will he jump it? Won't he jump it? He's really hit and miss with chicaners, so you never know. And obviously today just wasn't the one for us, and it was a very slow fall from me. I could have pulled myself back up. Obviously now I know I need a stronger core. Are you going to try and knock me over? So yeah, we know what we need to work on. Dressage was really nice. Show jumping was fabulous. There were so many positives to take away that I'm not going to let the cross country ruin today's day. Anyway, I'm going to get these studs out of him before he knocks me over. He's got his travel studs in, and get him back out in the field because clearly he's a bit impatient. I'm trying to decide whether or not I suit a baseball cap. I'm kind of leaning towards I don't, but the hat hair is unreal. I won't lie, a little part of me sat in the ditch when I fell off and thought maybe eventing isn't for us because he was a little bit sticky going round. But you know what? I don't think I want to give it up after one try because I had such a buzz. Are you coming, Puppet? I did feel, come on, Bula. I did get that cross-country buzz. Yes, I felt a bit nervous, but the feeling before you go of like, and once we got over the first few fences, it was like, oh my God, we're doing this. Like, this is sick. I'd have loved to have had the cross the finish line feeling, but we didn't this time. But it's not to say there's not going to be another time. So, you know, we got 2 out of 3 phases completed. That's over half. So yeah, what more can we want? One final little comment on eventing. How do people do it by themselves? How? Like, I can't even go to a normal show jumping show by myself because I just can't manage it. It literally does take a team. So there was me, obviously Ryder, my auntie Nikki was there, my mum was there, Abby came with me at 6 o'clock this morning in the lorry, and Lucy drove all the way up to Launceton as well to support me and help me. They were tacking up the horse boo. They were there with buckets of water ready to wash him down, to help him with his studs while I was getting dressed. All like, it takes a team. Like, I could not have done it without them. So if you guys watch, thank you. I don't really know how else to end this vlog, so I'm going to end it here while I shovel up some poo, clean up the lorry, because this is the worst bit, isn't it, really, tacking everything away. Over and out. Thanks.